Very warm welcome to one and all to Success Tales. Real people, real stories. Today we have with us none other than Avelo Roy, who is currently MD, Kolkata Ventures and Director of ECC Engineering Private Limited. Mr. Avelo Roy is a serial tech entrepreneur, investor, and TV host who started his first startup at the age of 19 around his patent pending technology while still studying as a computer engineer at the Illinois Institute of Technology, Chicago. He built it to a multi million dollar valuation by the age of 22. He has built 8 businesses in the US and India with multi million dollars worth of products and services ranging from consumer electronics, artificial intelligence systems, healthcare process automation, food science, wireless communications, and so on. He is a member of board of advisors at Amity University and Comedy Munch, New Delhi. He has been former startup advisor to Prime Minister of Nepal. He is also a guest lecturer at Illinois Institute of Technology, Northwestern University, and IITs like Delhi, Bombay, Kharagpur, and so on. Welcome, Avelo Roy, sir. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much, Professor. Very, very honored to be here and pleasure to talk to you again.
Right, sir. So, without taking much more time, I'll just ask you a few questions, and I'm sure that our viewers will have a lot of takeaways from this interview today, sir. Right? So, sir,
Let's do it.
yeah. When did you decide to become an entrepreneur, and what actually motivated you to opt for entrepreneurship?
So I was in class 8 and I was exploring what I should do in life. And at that time, I was born in a political family. My mother was doing a lot of social work, helping poor people and senior citizens, running a non-profit also. And I saw how she was able to help people. And being a politician, it helped to have certain level of strength. And as a kid, I realized there's two ways. One is money, one is power, with which you can solve people's problems. And I was told I shouldn't be a politician because it's a dirty game and I'm not good for it. And so for me, entrepreneurship was the next best thing. And I wrote a letter to Bill Gates asking I want to be a business partner. And I didn't expect a response, but thankfully he did, and that was very, very encouraging for me. And that's where it all began. I started dreaming of being an entrepreneur. Once I reached US, which was actually I had the hope that it was not mainly for studies; it was mainly for learning how to do business because US is a large capitalistic or country, 200 years capitalism. So that was my goal and intention, and that's what happened in college. Only I started my startup, and everything else is known thereafter.
Right, sir. That's so encouraging. So, sir, a journey of any startup is never so smooth. It faces a lot of ups and downs, especially in the infantile stage. So, when you started your entrepreneur journey, what challenges and hurdles did you face during the initial stage?
It's the knowledge aspect, not knowing a lot of different things. Like, for example, being in a foreign country where you don't know legally how to actually be an entrepreneur because there is no visa for it. And then figuring out how to hire people, figuring out how to build technology, figuring out a lot of things. Every moment there is a brick wall of lack of knowledge. So for me, what has been a blessing is having access to mentors. Initially, it was professors, but as we progressed and became more complex, we got connected to those friends of professors who are industry leaders, and eventually, millionaires and billionaires who have built amazing technology themselves. And thereafter, getting their insights, their knowledge. So between from 19 years of age, starting to making the first million by 22, it became a very short journey because we were getting all these guidance of what to do, what not to do, what has been already figured out, so that I don't have to reinvent the wheel, right? So that has been a blessing.
Right, sir. So, in everybody's life, we do have a support system, like people in our inner circle who actually believe in us, who believe in our dreams and aspirations. So, who were your biggest supporters in your journey?
um, so so as I started my startup journey and being in the US, being a student it I built my own support system because I didn't know many people in the US. And so my business partner became my best friend, and he became somebody who was immensely supportive. And then my mentor, who I was learning Bhagavad Gita from, he became an inspiration and guiding me, because he was also in corporate and he knew how the American corporate structure worked. And that's really the support I needed. But then thereafter, the mentors, the board of advisors, they came in. But internal support, the emotional support, the support of, should I do this? Is it too risky? Am I doing the right thing? That was very much provided by my best friend and my mentor through the initial days.
It's a That's so nice of you, because usually, people forget their mentors, they forget the people who believed in them, who supported them through their journey. So that's so nice of you that you still remember them. Um,
It wouldn't happen without them. That's why it's not something I can ever forget. And gratitude, that's
yes.
the thing is, I'll tell you a little bit. Like, this was 2009 when I graduated, and as we were going through, uh, nobody was investing. People who were supposed to invest in us
Right.
backed off because the economy was bad and everything
Mm,
else. And we were going through this phase where we were like, should we continue? Because other startups had failed and they backed off, they got jobs. And me and my co-founder Edward, we were going on and on and on. And everybody was like, you guys need to wait till the economy gets back, because nobody's investing and you're a hardware software combination. Hardware is expensive. And at that phase, again, this support system really came in handy. My mentor was like, I'll tell you when to stop, keep trying, keep going. Because I was telling him, oh, Bhagavad Gita, is it very spiritual to be so ambitious? And he's like, yes. Every spiritual personality you see, whether it's Arjun, whether it's Prahlad Maharaj, whether it's all these great personalities you read in Mahabharata, Ramayana, they were very ambitious, and they were at the same time God conscious and spiritually grounded, kind, compassionate people. So there's nothing wrong with ambition.
right.
Don't quit unless I tell you to. And that was great for me, to have that kind of push, where I wanted to kind of give up, use excuses, rationalize. But that, like you said, the support system
Yes.
really, really helped.
Yes. So nicely portrayed, sir. So, your efforts through Kolkata Ventures in the past 3 years have resulted in, 400 plus revenue generating startups responsible for around 4,500 new jobs created in 10 states of East India itself. So, sir, what is Kolkata Venture all about, and how exactly is it helping startups?
So it's exactly what I received in Chicago when I was starting out. I built that ecosystem here. So, having being a university student, having access to real entrepreneurs who are millionaires, billionaires, who have built scaled businesses, having access to their brain, that's what exactly we do at Kolkata Ventures, where it's incubation, virtual incubation, where you get access to actual entrepreneurs who've gone from zero to million minimum, right? And only those entrepreneurs are allowed to mentor these startups, because they know what it takes. It's not book knowledge, it's not just
Mm,
gyan motivational talk. It's serious, hacks, serious methods. And so only those entrepreneurs who've gone from zero to million, help our startups, thereby startups getting real, mentorship, real insights, and they're able to scale up very, very quickly. And that's a forte. So there is entrepreneurship education, there is seed funding, and there is resources, right? So from resources like, there's accounting, tech development, marketing, legal clinic, then there is this Amazon Web Services, Google. Everybody gives freebies to our startups, and these are worth almost 40 lakhs of freebies that our startups that we incubate get,
mm,
which they would otherwise have to pay, whether it's paying for their hosting, paying for their
mm,
softwares and CRM systems and whatnot. Our gateway fees, like Paytm gives 1 lakh a month, up to gateway fees off for all our
mm.
startups. So these kinds of resources are available. So they get entrepreneurship education, how to build a startup. If they need funding, that is available, and the resources. So they don't have to look anywhere else. It's one-stop shop.
Right, sir. Brilliant, sir. Brilliant. So, okay, one question. See, you're already having 1,800 plus startup mentees. Who is Avelo Roy's sir's mentor?
um, so from a spiritual perspective, I have one mentor. He used to be the president of ISKCON Chicago.
Oh.
And from business perspective, I have many. So for marketing, for tech, one of my mentors is Harper Reed.
Mhm.
Harper was uh, President Obama's chief of technology for the
Wow.
Obama campaign. So he helped Obama raise uh, close to $1 billion, which is the highest US president till that time had ever raised online. That also, and he has sold and built and sold many companies. So amazing guy. Harper is a legend, and he's one. Then there's a guy named Joe Bourne who has built physical products in China and sold
Okay.
them in America, and still
Mhm.
doing it right now. He owns the brand Aiwa, which used to be very popular in India before he bought the brand from Sony. So there are many such leaders. Like another person is Craig Duchessois, who has you know uh, who invented the garage door opener.
Yes.
Who was one of the first inspirers and mentors to me. Again, billionaire. Very successful. If you see on Hollywood movies, the garages open up with
Yes.
the remote. He was the one who created that. So having such amazing people, it's really fortunate.
Right. I'm sure they're listening to you, right? Wherever they are, and that's so nice of you.
They're
Um,
right to be. They see your LinkedIn. They're right to be. I'm so happy, Avelo, you're in India, but you make us proud and whatnot. So it's always good to see that, because they see their legacy moving forward. What they did for me, I'm
of
doing for
course,
others. So they
and
see that moving forward.
yes, and as a mentor, you do feel very proud of your mentees when they are going forward and they are also recognizing your efforts as well. So that in itself is a very good thing, sir. So, sir, you are an investor as well. So, as an investor, how do you decide to invest in a particular startup?
It's always the founders. The founders, if they're capable.
Mhm.
So a skill level, that if they're capable enough to build and scale this business. Number two is their ethics. Are they honest? When you talk to them, because there are a lot of people who are very smart but very dishonest, right? And dealing with them is like dealing with a snake.
Right.
So if they're honest and
Mhm.
they do the right things, even if it is difficult. And number three is an energy level. Do they have the
Mhm.
can do spirit, like kar dikhayenge,
Mhm.
versus excuses, ye nahi hota hai, wo nahi hota hai, and whatnot. So these are three things I look for in the founder, and then everything else is like scalability, if the
Mhm.
product market fit is there, some validation, looking at the numbers and whatnot. But the first and foremost thing is the founder.
Right. So that's such an important point. Um, so, sir, as a great great grandson of Sarojini Naidu, you continue the legacy forward by tirelessly serving the Indian youth through the entrepreneurship education using the lean startup methodology. What exactly is lean startup methodology? I've seen you mentioning this in many of your interviews.
Yeah, so lean startup is something that has, it's the science of startups. So that came out of Stanford University after researching around 10,000 startups that became scaled businesses. This guy named Eric Ries,
Hmm.
he put it down in a book called Lean Startup Methodology. And that is, lean methodology is being used today by NASA, by government agencies, by obviously by startups. It's just the Bhagavad Gita for startups in one sense. Not saying 100% that one has to know in and out, but the basic premise is don't build everything for everyone.
Hmm.
Know your market, build something for someone, for a niche audience. Don't build 100%. Minimum viable features, minimum viable product. With that, go to the market,
Hmm.
see the reaction, and then build, test, learn, build, test, learn, and iteratively get better. That's the crux of lean startup
Hmm.
methodology. And there's obviously a lot more, but it's a very scientific approach where you don't, aim in the dark and hope to God it works. You spend less, you fail fast, you succeed faster. So you fail on a small scale, so that way you learn, and you
Yes.
build, test, learn, and you go along.
Yes, yes. Actually, sir, because I've seen that many of the people, they do have an idea and they really want to do something big, but there is a misconception that you need to have some amount of capital, some amount of money to invest, and only then you can start your own thing, start your own venture. Is it true? Like,
Not true in today's world. And if you look at Ambani also, Dhirubhai Ambani, how much money did he have to start with? He was very, very making nominal wage in some Turkey
Right.
or some country like that. So entrepreneurial mindset is seeing the value that others don't see. If everybody had access to funds,
Hmm.
still nobody would be successful, right? That's
Right.
the whole. So many people come to me. Daddy gave 1 crore. Son spent the whole money in a year. Comes to me, sir, can you fund me? I'm like, why? If you couldn't do it with 1 crore, what makes you say that you can do it better this time, right?
Hmm.
So the point is, if you have a phone, if you have a laptop, and you have an internet connection, there is no way sitting at home you cannot make money. And
Right.
I'll give a story to prove that. There's this gentleman, young fellow, whose father lost a job in Delhi, and his father said, "Beta, I cannot pay for your tuition. I'm in really bad shape financially," and he was pulled out of school. He came home and he saw that he has a laptop, he has internet, and he doesn't know how long his dad will be able to pay. So he started making YouTube videos, reviewing products and gadgets. And now he has 500,000 followers. He makes 10 lakhs a month. 19 years old, and he has never gone to college because he never had the opportunity. But he guest lectures at colleges and things like that.
Wow.
And he's not a very good-looking dancer type
Mhm.
social media influencer. He's a guy who talks about gadgets. And Amazon pays him, Flipkart pays him, all the phone companies give him free phones and whatnot, right? So that's the beauty of it. Not saying everybody has to get 500,000 followers, but you can do drop shipping, you can do digital marketing, you
Mhm.
can do freelancing, you can do anything with the gig economy, and you can be making money. I was talking to a guy who delivers Swiggy, and I said, how much money do you make in a day? He says, sometimes I make 3,000 rupees a day, sometimes I make nothing if I don't work. I said,
Mhm.
how does it work? He's like, sir, I sometimes drive Uber, or I do Swiggy delivery during the day. At night, I do freelancing. In the US, I make graphics and whatnot at $25 an hour. So even if he spends 1 hour, $25 is like around 1,000 rupees. So he's making that much. So if you think 3,000 rupees a day, right, that is
Mhm.
90,000 rupees a month. That is more than most engineers make. And there
Yes.
is a delivery guy who's making that much amount of money. So, I mean, these two examples show you today
Mhm.
what is possible. If somebody has a desire to do it, they don't
Mhm.
need much education. They can just make money from zero money.
Desire is so important, and the passion to follow your dreams, it is very important. Right,
And
sir.
resourcefulness to see,
Resourcefulness.
rather than saying, oh, my parents are not rich, I don't have anything.
Hmm.
See, how can I make it work? The
Right.
jugaad mentality that Indians are known for,
Yes.
that is what really helps an entrepreneur see the value where others don't see it.
Right. So that's so true, sir. So, your management style is derived from the principles of Bhagavad Gita. Our audience would like to know what principles of Bhagavad Gita inspire you and influence your decision making process, and how has spirituality influenced your professional life?
Certainly. I mean, the very beginning, chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Matra sparshastu kanteya, shita ushna, shuka dukada, agama apaino anityam, tam sitikshwata bharata. So the English translation is, as soon as the senses, the five senses, panchendriya, comes in contact with the sense object, you see something, you smell something, you hear something, you taste something, there are two outcomes,
Hmm.
happiness or distress. But you generally expect happiness, right? And it is bound to change. If you're happy right now, next distress is coming. If you're distressed right now, happiness is coming. Nothing is permanent in this world. So if you take that principle and apply it to anywhere, even stock markets, right? I'm sure Nitish can tell you more about this, but yeah, there's always a cycle. A few days ago, Adani had crashed because of one tweet some journalist made. Right now, Adani is going up, right? Again, it will go down. There will be some hiccup. There will be economic crisis. There will be a third wave and a fourth wave. Again, stock market will go down. Again, it will go up. So if you know this, now what happens? Common mass gets scared
Hmm.
when problems happen. Oh, economy is tanking. Oh, jobs are not. Oh, there's a coronavirus. Oh, this, that. And they get frantic. Whereas entrepreneurs, they see value there, right? So when you
Hmm.
understand the designer, the creator is telling you it is bound to go up and down. So when it's down, you know it's going to go up. So you invest in the right things and you
Hmm.
reap the benefits when it goes up, right? That's one aspect. Number two, another principle that really I appreciate from the Bhagavad Gita is anger management. Because being in the CEO position, being in the entrepreneur's position where you're the boss, you're not just a boss. It's not just a fancy title. You're also, all the problems are on your shoulder. Your
Yes.
employees can take the Sunday off, you don't,
Right.
right? Because it's your responsibility. So in that case, it's very easy to crack under pressure, uh,
Mm.
fall prey to rage, lust, greed, envy, become unethical, and all of that. So Krishna is saying in chapter 2 again, there's an 8-step process he gives with which you can recognize that you're about to get angry or lusty or greedy and whatnot, right?
Right.
So he gives you red flags. When you recognize it, you can actually hit the brakes,
Mm.
because once anger, let's say, takes over, our prefrontal cortex, which is the front part of the brain, shuts down. That means our censorship is gone. We say things, we do things that we regret later on,
Right.
right? And unfortunately, that leads to a lot of problems. Co-founders break off,
Mm.
investors back off, and that I've seen so many times, entrepreneurs getting angry and really making stupid things that they regret later on. I should have been more careful. So again, Bhagavad Gita gives you those principles to
Mm.
control these emotions in such a beautiful way, that you don't regret later on, that I wish I didn't. You have the brakes, you have the control of your life, mind control, sense control, and thereby you can control your life and direction you want to go. Otherwise, anger takes the control and takes you wherever it wants to go, and you crash.
Right.
Many such things, of course, people management, psychology, the Bhagavad Gita 700 verse, it's just
Mm.
filled with richness that one can use. But I don't want to take too much time describing it. I actually teach the Bhagavad Gita every Friday night, so people are welcome to join at 7:30 p.m. on Zoom, and you can learn more about this. It's all entrepreneurs learning how to apply Bhagavad Gita principles in entrepreneurship and life.
I'm sure our startup enthusiasts would love to join this session because I guess it has we have so much to learn from our own mythology and especially Bhagavad Gita, right, sir?
Absolutely. Actually, one of your colleagues, Dr. Pooja Gupta,
Mm-hmm.
she
Mm-hmm.
also joins it, UPS
Okay,
professor.
okay, okay, sir. Sure. So, 500 plus speaking engagements in US and India, including the White House panel for entrepreneurship education, Startup America, Invest India at the Rashtrapati Bhavan, uh, talking about the TEDx talks, Josh talks, and so much more. 150 plus awards in India, US, Canada, and China. 1,800 plus startup mentees in India, US, Canada, and China. You are an influential youth icon with a monthly reach of about 2 lakh youths over social media. So, Avelo Roy, sir, please tell us about your success mantra.
I'm not married. I
Yeah, that's
have a
one.
lot of
That's one.
so I have quite a bit of personal time. If I were a father or a husband, that I
Mhm.
probably wouldn't have that much time. So I have enough time to dedicate uh, to help others
Mhm.
and do things that give me satisfaction. If I every night when I go to sleep, I think if I die tonight and not wake up in the morning, at least I know for a fact that there are certain lives that have been touched and influenced and transformed with little bit of what I have done, and that is my satisfaction, really. And when you have a goal, see, not everybody is meant for um, get married, have kids,
Mhm.
send them to school, da, 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 da. Certain people are different, and
Yes.
I am such a person. I'm not meant. I will not be a very good. I feel I would not be a very good family man. I am more of outside, do-gooder kind of a person, and that's what motivates me. That's what gives me happiness when I see others happy. Even entrepreneurship, my
Mhm.
motivation is seeing my customers' problem solved. Right, a frowning face becomes a happy face because of my product or service,
Right.
and making others' dreams come true. That is what really the goal. If that is your goal,
Mhm.
everything else falls in place. Money will come, fame will come. You don't have to ask for it. But the
Right.
goal is that you help the people, and they will only talk about the wonderful things. You don't have to look for recognition, name, fame, and things like that.
Right.
So that's really it. Have the genuine intention to help
Mm.
people, and everything else follows. And it's really, for me, it's more than just helping people. It's also service to God, right?
Yes.
It's my service to Krishna, that I'm doing this for other people, and that becomes even more powerful a motivation.
That's so inspiring, Evelo sir. And thank you so much for sharing your success story with us and our viewers. It was our pleasure having you with us. I'm sure, as I said before, that our audience will definitely have abundant of key takeaways from this interview. You're an inspiration to numerous startup enthusiasts, and our team Success Tales is extremely honored for having you spare your time from your super busy schedule for this exclusive interview. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Professor Sharma. Very, very happy to be here. All the best.
Thank you so much.